A very good morning to all the dear learners who have come forward to listen to my presentation. The topic which I have selected for e-content lesson is meaning and scope of public expenditure. It's a topic included in a subject called Fiscal Economics Paper 1. This subject is offered to the current second BA Economics students during the odd semester. Now in this slide I have insisted my learning objectives which are being stated as to understand the meaning of public expenditure, to gain knowledge about the adopted ways used to make public expenditure in a better way for the promotion of economic development. And the third objective is the one which talks about the study of the scope of public expenditure. Now let me start with the meaning of public expenditure. I think when we are going to just concentrate on this concept, we can very easily see that public expenditure is nothing but expenditure incurred by the public authorities in order to satisfy the collective needs or group wants of the society. At the same time, it is being indicated as an expenditure made by the state, social security administrations and even the local authorities. It represents spending made by the government on collective needs and wants. In this slide, you can see how certain examples are being cited in order to get a perfect vision or clear vision of what is meant by public expenditure. Public expenditure is nothing but it refers to the expenses incurred by the administration for the effective functioning of the society. So the examples to be cited in this regard are expenses on the provision of infrastructural facilities or the creation of social overheads, educational facilities, basic health care and pension. Public expenditure is also incurred to facilitate economic development and economic growth. So here you can see that government expenditure is nothing but it refers to the expenditure incurred in order to help the poor masses of the society. Here we can see how public expenditure is being used in order to promote economic development in different ways, and they are being enlisted and stated as balanced regional growth, social and economic overheads, development of agriculture and industry, exploitation and development of mineral resources and offering of subsidies and grants. When we come for the first point of balanced regional growth, we can very easily see that this type of an expenditure is being incurred in order to develop very remote or very backward areas and underdeveloped regions. This type of an expenditure is being used in order to raise huge monetary funds and thereby to place heavy reliance on public expenditure. Now when we go for the next part, you can see how a central focus is made on the development of agricultural and industrial sector. So here top priority is being given for agricultural development, and at the same time you can see how another important objective of promotion of economic development is taken into consideration. So for this purpose, the government serving or working at different levels will have to come forward and incur heavy expenditure in both the agricultural sector and even the industrial sector. When you go for the next one, which is being read as exploitation and development of mineral resources, we all are generally aware that minerals provide a strong base for further economic development. So in this regard, we can see how special schemes of exploration and development of essential minerals by government departments are being implemented. The next one is the one which talks about the offering of subsidies and grants. Okay. Here the central government gives grants to the state government, and the state governments will come forward to offer these grants to local authorities in order to encourage them to incur some desirable expenditure. Apart from that, subsidies are being given in order to encourage the production of certain articles which are meant for exportation purpose in order to earn much needed foreign exchange. Now let us just look at the causes of boost in the public expenditure. Here three causes are being enlisted. The first one is the one which talks about the defense expenditure being incurred, size of the country and population, and attainment of economic development and economic growth. When we come for the scope of public finance, you can see that it's a topic which concentrates on the coverage of a full discussion of the influence of government fiscal operations on overall activity, employment, prices and growth process of the economic system. The scope of public expenditure is categorized into two main schools of thought. One school completely restricts the functions of the government to the primary functions of defense, maintenance of law and order, public debt, and the necessities of civil administration. The other school is more generally in favor of an increase in the functions of the state. Here we can see how Adam Smith, the father of economics, has passed a comment in his article which is being read as The Wealth of Nations, and thereby he has said that the sovereign has only three duties to attend to. The first one is to talk about the duty of protecting the society from violence and invasion of other independent societies. The second one is linked with the duty of protecting every member of it, or the duty of establishing an exact administration of justice. Thirdly, the duty of erecting and maintaining certain public works and certain public institutions are being insisted. So, Professor Musgrave, a 20th century economist, has advocated the public expenditure since a government is forced to do many activities, such as activities to secure efficient allocation of resources, redistributive activities, stabilizing activities, commercial activities. Therefore, public expenditure is increasing in both developed and underdeveloped countries. So, now let us just look at the ways which are being adopted to increase public expenditure. The first one is the one which describes the method of boosting public spending. Government needs more revenue in the form of taxes. The second one is the one which talks about an increase in the tax GDP ratio, and at present we can see that rich Indians should pay more taxes to provide for greater spending, and the government should phase out the tax exemption Raj that benefited the rich private sector. With that, we can just add up points like removal of tax incentives for small savings, as mostly the rich benefit from them, imposing tax on gold since it is owed by the elite members of the society, and imposing wider property tax in the context of smart cities. So, now let me just conclude. A unique feature captured is how government departments will have to come forward to have a serious concern about public expenditure to be incurred. So, these are all the frequently asked questions, and some of them are based on multiple choice, as well as we have part B questions and part C questions being added up. I just used textual references and website references which are being indicated in this slide. So, now it is my time, dear learners, to extend my sincere gratitude to all of us for listening to my speech in a patient manner. Thank you all.